Hey guys, it's Than from the Magic Couple, and we're going to be doing something slightly different today. We're going to be doing a Commander deck tech. This is one of my favorite new commanders that I just recently built. Recently as in, I don't know, about a year ago. And I've been playing with it a lot, and it's super, super fun. It is General Tazri. It is an Allies commander. So for those of you who don't know, General Tazri is 4 and a white for a 3/4. When it enters the battlefield, I can tutor for an ally. So I can search my library for an ally creature card, reveal it, and put it into my hand, and then shuffle my library. It also has this neat ability. You pay 1 of each color, and allies I control get +X until the end of turn, where X is the number of colors among those creatures. So if I got 3 colors of allies, they all get +3/+3 until the end of turn. This activated ability here allows me to run a 5-color commander, because the color identity of Tazri is 5 colors. So I'm really, really happy about this. I actually did have a 5-color commander. It was Slivers, and I really honestly didn't enjoy it. Slivers are super powerful, but there's nothing to them but just to play them, right? And so I personally felt like the only way I can improve the deck is just get like expensive lands, and my heart wasn't in it, and I ended up just like trading out of Slivers. And so, but then when this Tazri came along, I'm like, you know, let's do this allies thing. And allies are powerful, but they aren't busted, and they still require a lot of thought in how to use them correctly. And so it's a little more of a challenge to me to actually make this work. And so far it has worked very, very well. So first of all, let's go over the boring cards. Let's go over the land cards. So Magical Christmas Land, I would love to get 1 of each dual land and 1 of each fetch land. So for right now, I'm just using the closest approximation that I can afford. So I got 2 temples, Temple of Plenty, Temple of Triumph, the Scry lands from Theros block. I normally run all 5 of the battle lands from Battle for Zendikar because they got the subtypes, and they're easily fetchable with fetch lands. The fifth one, Cinderglade, is actually in a standard deck right now, so that's where that's at. I got 2 shock lands so far, which I'm happy about: Stomping Grounds and Steam Vents. And I got a Frontier Bivouac. I like access to the blue. I'll go over that once I go over my allies. For fetch lands, I'm running all 5 of the Panoramas, which don't fetch for the dual lands, because it specifically says search for a basic swamp, mountain, or forest card. So, but still, these are quite versatile and quite good, and I'm going to run these until I can get the fetch lands. I really don't want to buy the old Zendikar fetch lands, just because they're so flippin' expensive. They're going to reprint them soon, so I'll just wait to get them. Also, I'm going to be running... I run Grasslands and Rocky Tar Pit. I'm going to be getting the other Visions slow fetch lands from that as well. But for right now, I just got the 2. Look at the 5-color lands. We've got Command Tower. We've got Ally Encampment. City of Brass is a new acquisition for me. Ancient Ziggurat. There's so many creatures in this deck, it's fine that I can only spend it on creature spells. Getting to the utility lands, we've got Kessig Wolf Run, which is excellent to power in those last points of damage. Just, you know, once they declare blockers, take the one that wasn't blocked and just give it trample and give it +X/+O. The deck ramps pretty hard, so this is actually quite useful. I should get this in shiny, shouldn't I? I wonder how expensive that is. Anyways, Temple of the False God is my last utility land. Now on to the basics. We run 4 plains. We run 2 islands. We run 2 swamps. We run 3 forests and 4 forests and 3 mountains. I'm trying to get them all in full art shiny, and has nothing to do with money, because there's other decks that I like better than this one. It really just comes down to, like, I like to show off the land that all the allies are defending so valiantly. I think it's very, very flavorful. Yeah, and right now they're relatively cheap, being just recently reprinted. Anyways, let's get on to the allies. So we got Zulaport Cutthroat, because Zulaport Cutthroat is very strong. When I board wipe, I'm able to gain a bunch of life and make everybody lose some life. You know, just a little extra reach. So we got Veteran War Leader, star equal to the number of creatures I control. I can give it a bunch of keywords by tapping other allies. Just a nice, solid creature. Academic Cultist is fun. It allows me to steal a creature card from an opponent's graveyard if I control more allies than that spell costs. So this is actually really good. I haven't really been able to get some insane things with this, but I am able to get some just like chump blockers, so I can swing all out and block with their opponent's creatures. Especially if they got an ETB trigger, like draw a card. I'm able to steal that and draw a card, and it's just a nice almost utility creature to have. This is a very aggressive deck. Talus Paladin, this gets a counter every time an ally comes in. Also gives all my allies lifelink. Hero of Gomafada actually puts in some great work. The thing about Hero of Gomafada is that it makes all my allies, or sorry, it makes all my creatures indestructible when an ally enters the battlefield. Now, the thing is that, like, slivers have this thing where you can just get one that just says all slivers are indestructible, right? And that's amazing. This one I really have to trigger, but that's not that bad. With the way this deck ramps, there are some times where I'm able to do play Hero of Gomafada and then route, destroying all creatures, and all my creatures are indestructible until the end of turn. So, you know, I can still do a lot of great work with Hero of Gomafada. So I really, really like him in the deck. Tug Tug Scrapper is an all-star. He's able to blow up an artifact, and that artifact's controller takes damage equal to how many allies I control. And because that triggers every time an ally enters the battlefield, if I'm able to put in 4 ally tokens in one turn, I'm able to blow up 4 artifacts, and they take a ton of damage. And so not only does this keep artifacts off the board, and it keeps mana rocks off the board, so it slows down my opponent, it just does so much direct damage. Tug Tug Scrapper is fantastic in this deck, and in Commander, just in general. Tajara Warcaller is really an excellent finisher for me, so it gives all my creatures +2/+2 on a rally trigger. When I'm able to put out, like I said, a lot of allies in one turn, it's really easy to overwhelm my opponent. You know, when they think, okay, I got these allies, they're all like 4/4s and 2/3s and stuff like that, and I'm able to drop Tajara Warcaller and then 2 other allies, they all get +6/+6, and then they come in for the attack. So I love Tajara Warcaller. Late game, I love tutoring her up. Fantastic card. I'm glad I got one in shiny when it wasn't all that expensive. Lantern Scout is another lifelink dude. Tauren Mauler is a shapeshifter, which means it's a changeling, which means it's all creature types at all times. So yes, it is an ally, and this gets a counter on it whenever an opponent casts a spell. So this is just a solid, solid creature that just gets bigger and bigger and becomes more of a threat later on. Jiragabard is excellent against other aggro decks because it gives all my allies vigilance. I'm able to swing in and not worry about the crackback. Tajara Shapeshifter is excellent, being able to copy any ally. I'm able to do some really fun shenanigans with this, like copy a Tajara Warcaller. So now, when Rally triggers, all my creatures get +4/+4 until the end of turn. I've done this neat thing where I had 9 mana on board, and I had Tajara Shapeshifter in my hand, and I had General Tazri, who hadn't died yet this game. So I was able to play Jiraiya Shapeshifter as a copy of Tazri, Legend Rule the old Tazri out. I get to tutor from this guy, and then I'm able to pay 7 mana and then bring the actual Tazri in. This guy dies, and I'm able to tutor 2 times in a turn. So very, very fun. I don't usually like doing that, but there's a lot of other targets for this. Always have good targets for Jiraiya Shapeshifter. Tajaru Stalwart is fine. It's 3 mana for a 0/1, but it comes into play with +1/+1 counter for each color I spent to cast it. I'm probably going to replace this at some point, but it's so easy to turn this into a 3/4 on turn 3, and it's just a really solid beater. Doesn't win me the game, but it just provides another creature to bash in, and like I said, this deck's very aggressive. Beast Color Savant, I'm able to tap mana of any color to use that to cast creature spells. Again, not really a problem. The fact that this guy has haste is really nice. Just a nice solid ally. Kazul Warlord is great. I get +1/+1 counter on all of my allies whenever Rally triggers. This gets out of control really fast. Grey Pelt Hunter, this is another just quality beater. It's 2 mana for... sorry, I'm mixing up my numbers. It's 4 mana for a 2/2 Trampler. Whenever it or another ally enters, it gets bigger. So this gets bigger, faster. It has built-in trample. Again, just a solid creature. Ondu War Cleric gains me a stupid amount of life very, very quickly. Gain life equal to the number of allies I control. That triggers whenever an ally enters the battlefield. So if I've got 4 allies and I put out 3 more ally tokens, I gain 6 life, then 7 life, then 8 life. You know, it can really put you from everybody's attacking me because I have allies and I'm going aggro, and I'm like down to like, you know, 22, back up to 40 so quick. And it's also 2 mana, really easy to trigger Rally for 2 mana. Balaged Thief is an excellent way of not only figuring out what my opponent is doing, but also countering that. So when it or another ally enters the battlefield under my control, target player reveals a number of cards from his or her hand equal to the number of allies I control. I choose one of them, that player discards that card. Very similar to Blackmail, if you know that card. I I'm really able to, with the amount of allies I get out, I'm really able to just say, let me see your hand, discard a card. It doesn't specify a land card, although usually I take things like board wipes, things that would really wreck my board. Or I'm just able to take practically anything that's really threatening me. And this is actually, again, this by itself doesn't kill my opponent, but it really opens the door and clears the path from all the shenanigans or board wipes or, tricks that they might have. Gets rid of that, and then I'm able to bash in. So love Balaged Thief. Maras's Pyromancer, it basically burns a creature equal to the number of allies I control whenever it or another ally enters the battlefield. Really able to, again, clear the way and just destroy all the creatures in my way, so I'm able to just bash in. Seagate Loremaster, one of my favorite tutor targets, because I get to draw a card for each ally I control. This really allows me to vomit out my hand and have, I'll be hellbent, but then I'll get Seagate Loremaster and start drawing 4 or 5 cards a turn. It just gets insane. It really allows me to get to so many cards, so I know exactly which ones to play. I have so many options. So Seagate Loremaster, excellent. One of the ones I really want to get into foil. Kind of expensive in foil, but that's okay. I'll get it at some point. Grove Tender Druids is kind of on the chopping block. When Rally triggers, I can pay 1, and if I do, I get a 1/1 plant. Really good to have chump blocks when you're swinging in with your cool stuff. This is, 4 mana for a 3/3, and that's respectable. But really, it comes down to the art is so great. But I think at some point I'm gonna cut this guy just because plants are nice, but I'd rather just get some real strong dudes. So Reckless Bushwhacker is an excellent excellent attacker. One of the things I like to do is when I got 7 mana out, I can play Tazri from the command zone, and then use the 2 mana to Surge in Reckless Bushwhacker and get in some early damage, early commander damage. Also gives all my stuff haste when I play the Surge cost, so I'm able to play things like the Seagate Loremaster, and then Surge in Reckless Bushwhacker, so the turn Seagate Loremaster comes out, I can already start drawing cards. I really, really like doing that. Turn Timber Ranger, I get a wolf and put a +1/+1 counter on turn Timber Ranger. It's just a solid, just more beef on the board. Fire Mantle Mage gives all my stuff menace on rally trigger. I really, really like it. It just helps me, when an opponent has 3 blockers, this is basically give all your stuff flying, right? They're only really able to block 1 of my creatures, and at that point, they might as well just take the damage. Fire Mantle Mage can really get in some extra damage, and it makes blocks super awkward for your opponent. Cabria Evangel. I'm butchering that name. I know how to say it. It's early in the morning, guys. When this or another ally enters the battlefield, my creatures gain protection from the color of my choice. Can really help against mono decks, just being able to plop this down, name blue, and just swing in, with unblockable damage. So just a solid card. Hairbough's Druid, my second favorite, or probably my first or second favorite tutor target. Being able to tap for X mana of any one color, where X is the number of allies I control. This rants me so hard. It's insane. I'm able to just, cast a neat spell that I want to cast, but then leave all my mana open just for allies. Or it's really great to be like, I don't have access to blue, but I want to cast this spell. That's okay, I can tap for blue. So, Hairbough's Druid, definitely an all-star. Seagate Aerialist gives all my allies flying. Chasm Guide gives them all haste. This is actually another one of my favorite tutor targets, because once I start getting out creatures like Tajara Warcaller, I want to finish the game ASAP, and so being able to put a Chasm Guide so I can just drop all these tokens out, they all get swollen, they all attack. Really, really important. Just got a foil one for 50 cents. Super happy about that. Mirror Entity is another shapeshifter. This one, I can pay X and all my creatures get base power toughness X until the end of turn. Again, really great finisher, being able to swing in and then tap 7 mana. They're all 7/7s, plus all the bonuses that they're going to be getting and counters and such. So, love Mirror Entity. So that's it for the actual allies. Now we're going to a few cards that allow me to get allies. This one, Join the Ranks. I get 2 1/1 soldier allies onto the battlefield for 4 mana. The reason why I'm using this, as opposed to Allied Reinforcements, which gets 2/2 allies, ally knights, is that this is at instant speed. So when we go and look at things like Hero of Gomafada, once I get Hero of Gomafada, if I've got Join the Ranks, I'm not passing the turn unless I got 4 mana open for Join the Ranks. So that way, if somebody does a Wrath of God, I can just Join the Ranks, all my stuff gets indestructible. Being able to trigger Rally at instant speed is very, very important, which is why I'm keeping this in here. And I'm also looking for a foil because it's probably dirt cheap in foil. Retreat to Umeria. Landfall, I get an ally. Late game, I can just have creatures get +1/+1 for landfall triggers. Haven't seen this in play yet. We'll see how it goes. Unified Front is actually such a powerhouse, especially if I've got good rally triggers. Converge, I get a 1/1 core ally for each color of mana spent to cast this. Again, it's so easy to turn 4 or turn 5 get 4 allies. This can be a finisher if I have haste and Tajara Warcaller is on the board, and because all my stuff will just get +8/+8 until the end of turn. It's a powerhouse. Glad I got a foil when it was cheap. Another couple equipments to help me out is Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots. There we go. Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots. Sometimes I just can't get a Chasm Guide, so having both of these haste enablers is fantastic. So let's keep going. Here's a couple flicker things. We got Ghostly Flicker, Conjurer's Closet, and Cloud Shift. Allows me to flicker. Some of these are at instant speed. Conjurer's Closet is excellent with Tazri. Just keep tutoring up gas. So that's fantastic. So now we're into ramping. So I got a lot of ramp in this deck. I got a Commander Sphere to get any color of mana. I got a Soul Ring, of course. I've got Explosive Vegetation. Really, really great to be able to just be like, oh, I don't have black or blue because I only have 2 of those each in the deck. Explosive Vegetation gives me both of those. Or if I really desperately need 2 black for a board wipe or something, I can do that. Zendikar Resurgent, excellent at any green deck. Phenomenal in an allies deck where most of the allies are 5 mana and under. I'm able to just pop these guys out, draw more cards, and just keep in the game. Fantastic card. Burnish Heart, the only non-ally, but I think he's an ally in spirit. He's really, really helpful. Again, getting 2 basic lands, I'm able to get the 2 lands that I don't have access to and get Wooburg on as fast as possible. Hedron Archive, great for sacking late game to draw cards. Rites of Flourishing, I'm fine if my opponents are running control decks and they get to draw extra cards and play extra lands, because I'm probably going to just overrun them fast. So I'm fine with Rites of Flourishing. Chromatic Lantern, I'm glad I had an extra one. If not, I'd probably just run another Tap for Anything artifact. So let's get into removal. So I've got a good old Counterspell, because, hey, I'm running all 5 colors, so I just want to run a Counterspell. I got Vandal Blast, great for destroying mana rocks if I don't have Tuk Tuk Scrapper. Or if I've got this in my hand, I just won't tutor for Tuk Tuk Scrapper. Got a good old Disenchant. Oblation's fantastic. Scour from Existence is in here for 2 reasons. One, it's insanely versatile. Exile any permanent, it's at instant speed. It is 7 mana, but this deck ramps so quick. Also, I wanted to have 1 or 2 cards here that showed why the allies are fighting. Also, this has a quote by General Tazri herself. Our people and our very lands disappear as if they never were. We no longer fight for glory, for honor. Now we battle for the right to exist. Which I think is awesome. I want to get this in shiny. First of all, it's a great card, but also this is why we're fighting. It's fantastic. I really, really like putting this in here. We got Sundering Growth. There's enough tokens in here that this is not that bad. Also, just having a second Disenchant that's versatile, that's easy to cast is fantastic. Corrosion Grip. See, this is the thing. We actually need to run a lot of things that just get rid of artifacts and enchantments and other things like that, because I just want to clear a path. I want to be able to scour from existence a Planeswalker that's really slowing me down, or Ablation that, just because I can't deal with control. And so this is an excellent way to deal with control. So now we're getting into my board wipes package. First thing I wanted to show you is Bring to Light. I've seen this in a couple other commander decks for 5-color commander decks, and I think it's fantastic. It's Converge, it's 5 mana. Search your library for a creature, an instant, or a sorcery card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast Bring to Light. So you're tutoring up a creature, instant, or sorcery, and you're casting it for free, as long as it costs less than how many colors you spent to cast it. So anything, especially in a 5-color deck that actually gets the 5 colors quite quickly, Bring to Light is fantastic to tutor up things like Evacuation, or actually no, it says sorcery, it doesn't. Oh no, instant or sorcery. Okay, cool. Evacuation's great. Chain Reaction is great. Rout is great. All of those I can tutor up with Bring to Light, so it's actually like running an extra copy of each of these. So I'm really, really happy about that. That really helps me have access to a board wipe. And if honestly I really don't need a board wipe, and I'm the big, I have the biggest creatures, and I'm throwing in the beats, which is usually the case, I can bring to light, search for another creature. I can search for Tajaru Warcaller. And so bring to light is super versatile. It's really cheap. I think the foil's expensive, but just get the normal one. I think it's under $1 still. So bring to light's fantastic in this deck. Curse of Swine, fantastic in any blue deck. But the thing is that because I'm such a combat-based deck, turning my opponent's board into piggies is fine. Because sometimes I'm able to give them Menace, sometimes I'm able to give them Trample, sometimes I'm forcing them to chump block with all their new piggies. 2/2 pigs will rarely trade with my allies because they're so strong. So Curse of Swine is excellent in this deck. In Garrick's Wake is expensive, but with the ramp, I'm totally able to cast it. 9 mana, destroy all creatures, and all planeswalkers that I don't control. Really, this is the nail in the coffin that can finish people off. If I got a ton of allies that they aren't, let's say I don't have Tajaru Warcaller, I'm able to finish them off by just blowing up their stuff and just keep bashing in. We got Exert Influence. This is one of my pet cards. It's gain control of target creature if its power is less than the number of colors of mana spent to cast Exert Influence. So I can get up to a 5 power creature. This is really fun to steal somebody's god with. It's just really, really nice. I like effects like this, and I thought the art was fantastic. And again, another one of my pet cards that in any other commander deck probably is not efficient, and it still probably isn't efficient in this deck, but hey, I really, really like the artwork on it, so this pet card of mine. Vampiric Rites. These are some of the other cards that don't really fit into these categories, but are fun cards nonetheless. Vampiric Rites, I'm able to sack a creature, and if I do, I gain 1 life and I draw a card. This is really good to have on the board to kind of protect yourself against board wipes. It allows you to sack a bunch of creatures that are going to die anyways and draw cards and gain life. So I have one of these in there, and it's nice and cheap, and so excited to do that. Glaring Spotlight is another card that just gets there. Being able to target stuff that has hexproof is fantastic, but also being able to just sack it and just be like, all right, my stuff has hexproof, unblockable, finish somebody off is great as well. March of the Tomb, I'm able to recur up to 8 converted mana cost worth of allies from my graveyard. This card isn't amazing, but when it gets there, it's nice. If I'm able to build up my board and then I'm able to play March on the Tomb and get back some important or key allies from my deck, from my graveyard to play, it's fantastic. Just got it in shiny. It's only about $1, so I was happy about that. Coat of Arms is great. Makes all my creatures swole. And then the last card I want to show you is Conflux. I just got this from Julie's From the Vault Lore, and it enables me to tutor up 1 card of each color, and so I'm able to tutor up a ton of things. I haven't actually cast this yet, so we'll have to see how it goes, but maybe another pet card here. Why the heck not, really? So thank you guys so much for watching this General Tazri Commander deck tech. Let us know what you think about this. You want me to keep going? We have, a ton of commander decks that we could go over. So there's a whole wealth of content if you guys would like. And I know a lot of people from the club might want to know how we construct commander decks. So this would be a great resource for you guys. But if you want more, please like this video. Leave a comment. Anything you can do to let us know that this is what you guys want to see, and we'll do it. This new rig is really allowing us a huge amount of flexibility to be able to record stuff quite easily. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye!